TGIF, look at that. Lisa's already on it. She's like, good morning with a big sunshine. TGIF. Yes, the sun is shining here. V. Oakley said, I love that groove. Little easy listening for us this morning. Well, a few people have been sending me some updates on Audrey Cunningham. There will not be a trial because old Stephen McDougal went ahead and took a plea for life, no possibility of parole, none. There will be no appeals, locked away, throw away the key, and he will be in Gen Pop. However, he is not the only person that failed Audrey. All right, OJ, we're not starting that right now. Go get your snacks. And look at that preschool granny member for 36 months. Are you kidding me? It's like a friendiversary. Is that what they call it? With me and preschool granny. Oh my God. We have to celebrate. Speaking of celebrating, where is Sophia Petrillo? Today's her birthday. Come on. Let's tell everyone hi real quick. Anyone got big weekend plans? I'm ready to start grilling out. It's back in the 70s here. I have to pinch myself after what we went through last week. But what I'm doing is just bracing myself for the next cold snap. Cat, running in late. My bad. Hold the door. Happy birthday, Sophia. It's Friday. Sophia's birthday on Friday, just like Cat's. All right, my biggest problem with the Audrey Cunningham case, I really don't even care that idiot, that piece of shit, that garbage, Stephen McDougal, is just going to be there for life in Gen Pop. He'll get the Adam Montgomery treatment, okay? You know, head in, a poopy toilet, the toilet plunger, the whole 9 yards. He will. They'll figure out what he did, if they haven't already. He should stick out like a sore thumb. Because Audrey's law is they want more transparency about who's on the SO list. Well, that's kind of common sense. But, common sense should have told them that this dude may not need to be hanging around. Anybody, let alone beautiful little Audrey. They said that they didn't know anything about him. They were doing the Christian thing by letting him sleep in the RV. That's what they were doing. I pulled this up. Actually, Kat did. No, maybe I did. Okay, never mind. This is all of his mugshots. Now, if I could find all of these, Grandma, Grandpa, and Dad certainly could, especially since Dad here was such good friends with Stephen McDougal. You have to be kidding me. Have to be kidding me. And, as much as I took up for Cassie, by the way, this is from KPRC2 in Houston, she's a big part of the damn problem too. Kat said, yeah, I found it in about 39 seconds. Exactly. But they want a whole new law. Hey, stack them up. All the laws you want. You let someone in your house, though, you might want to check out things like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mugshots. No, thank you. Or maybe look at some of their body art. Okay? I can't exactly point it out because YouTube wouldn't like that. But body art like that, and I'm not picking on tattoos, just one in particular, I wouldn't let them around. But that's just me. That's just me. Let's do a little recap of when Audrey went missing and was found in the Trinity River.
end that we search, it just ends with empty hands so far. And I want my baby returned.
New at 10, the mother of missing 11-year-old Audrey Cunningham speaking out for the first time tonight, praying for the safe return of her daughter.
It's been 40 hours since anyone has seen 11-year-old Audrey Cunningham.
She is at the center of an Amber Alert out of Polk County after never boarding her school bus yesterday morning. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Keith Garvin.
And I'm Candace Burns. Daniela Guzman is off.
Love that yellow dress, by the way. Yeah, and that's just 10. That's just 10. And I think Kat was the one that found it, and I just pulled up that link. 39 seconds. Kat's over outside of London. The Outer Banks, as some people call him, when she's not in Greece. Anyway, she found it in like 39 seconds. So you're telling me that the people that lived with him and trusted him with beautiful little Audrey couldn't find it on their own? Jazzy Jules said and her father didn't know? For real. They're going to concerts and shit together. Think they took the fool to Florida on a vacation? Of course they knew.
Tonight, KPRC2's Bryce Newberry has been with investigators at Lake Livingston this evening as they're zeroing in on persons of interest in her disappearance. Bryce?
The search for Audrey Cunningham is on pause for the night. Investigators spent several hours at Lake Livingston today following leads. As we learned, a specialized FBI team is now involved. And tonight, for the first time, Audrey's mother talked to our cameras, sharing an emotional plea to bring her daughter home.
There's not words for it. There's not one feeling you feel. It's a roller coaster.
The roller coaster of emotion started Thursday night for Cassie Matthews. Her 11-year-old daughter, Audrey Cunningham, didn't return home after school.
Exactly. The fam, and I mean all of them. All of them. No more simping for Cassie around here from me. Our last conversation was not pleasant. No. Cat OG said they insist they check the SO registry. Didn't find anything. I just ran anything through Google. Genius. Genius. Don't let these people around your kids. This is crazy.
Never even made it on the bus that morning.
This is the stuff that you see on TV and you wonder, you can only imagine what the family and the parents are going through.
Last seen near her home around 7 a.m. Thursday. Investigators say family reported her missing around 5:30 p.m. Livingston ISD tells us they let Cunningham's family know she wasn't in class. Friday, the search brought investigators to Lake Livingston, where they used boats, drones, and dogs.
Okay, Cassie definitely gets a pass because she's Audrey's mother. She was not aware. Well, I say she wasn't aware, but she provided many text conversations between her and Stephen McDougal. One where he was trying to sneak Audrey over to see Cassie. Sounds, I guess, innocent enough. And he said, she trusts me. I'm her favorite person. Okay, so as a mama, I'd be like, you're my daughter's favorite person? I'd be doing what Outer Banks Cat did when she's not in Greece. I'd be Googling it. I'll be looking something up.
This is a location of interest. We are bringing in divers as well. Again, this is all an effort to uncover additional leads.
The Texas Rangers, along with Polk and San Jacinto County Sheriff's offices, now getting help from the FBI, including a specialized child abduction rapid deployment team. Those teams, according to the FBI, have a proven track record in crimes against children investigations, especially cases where a child has...
All right, this is the card team. No narrative here. This is the card team. This is what they do. I beat my head against the wall when I talk about cases like Sebastian Rogers, Summer Wells, Michael Vaughn, with people that do not understand what these people do and what they can find out. Okay? Card team, Sebastian, no abduction. People still say he was. Hey, I'm not the expert. Summer Wells, there is no abduction. No abduction. No tree trimmer. No nothing like that. Of course, it's foul play. Michael Vaughn, card unit, says this is a true abduction. They still want to blame the family. Can someone help me?
It's been abducted by someone other than a family member. Is it the belief that she was abducted?
I know that term implies that. We're not drawing any conclusions right now.
Investigators say they have persons of interest, but are keeping many details private.
I feel like I can't do anything because I know nothing.
The family, desperate to find Audrey, who's known to love animals and make others laugh.
She has so many opportunities ahead of her, and she deserves every right to be able to reach those opportunities.
Until she's back home, safe, Matthews won't give up.
Absolutely sickening. And hey, virtue signal all you want, Grandma and Gramps and Daddy that hangs out with the neo-Nazi that killed his daughter. Stack it up. Get all the laws you want. You're still not going to convince me that you didn't know there was something wrong with this. No. I'm no psychic. I don't have a crystal ball, but I wouldn't even have to Google this shit. V. Oakley said, I would love to know why. Why in the hell did he do it? Since he took a deal and is doing life, there is no reason he can't tell us. Something a little troubling for me, since he is a predator. What I read is she, after all his grooming and tattooing, if you remember all that craziness, we have a playlist. She told him no. So put that together.
Right now, I'm empty. And I'm not gonna be the same unless my baby is returned to me.
Investigators tell us they have other locations of interest as well, but we don't know where those are. We know that they do plan to be back here at Lake Livingston tomorrow morning, and any tips should be called in to the Polk County Sheriff's Office.
There you go. There you go. V. Oakley just got the notification for the live. Thank you, YouTube. You just really know how to screw a girl over. All right. So when they say, see something, say something, this lady, if there was a reward out, I think she could be our car wash Jim from the Audrey Cunningham case. She saw him and she let the authorities know. Let's hear it for Gas Station Gina, because she is awesome. Sorry, Leslie, Gas Station Leslie, because Leslie did an awesome job.
Did you see McDougal?
I saw him Thursday morning. It wasn't early morning. I want to say after 9, probably. I can't remember what he bought. I want to say it was like some change for gas, but it could have very.
All right, I'm not going to be a hypocrite here and say I've never chunked out some change for gas. But again, his resume is just getting better every second.
Very well even been a couple of beers. I just can't remember because I don't.
Beers and change for gas. Okay, thank you, Leslie.
I didn't know I was supposed to remember. But I do know that he was here because he's so ugly.
There you go. Okay, she didn't need to Google anything. She said, I knew he was here. Couple beers at 9 o'clock in the morning. Threw some change down for gas, and she said, I knew he was here because he's just so ugly. I didn't know I was supposed to remember, but I remember him because he's just so ugly. She didn't have to Google anything. She knew there was something off.
And I mean, it just, ugly. And I mean, it, know that he was here because he's so ugly. And I mean, it just, It's a face you don't forget.
So you say it was after the fact, after you realized that.
She said it's a face you just don't forget. He's so ugly. He's just so ugly. She didn't have to go to the Outer Banks when she's not in Greece and Google it. She just stood out to her.
That this guy's involved with this situation, that it clicked. What made you remember him being in front of your counter?
When I saw his mugshot, when he was a person of interest, when like Thursday night, Friday morning, when they put his picture on Facebook.
What was it that was like, I know that guy?
His tattoos and his ugly face.
There you go. She's like, when they put his mugshot out, I instantly remembered, she said, his tattoos and his ugly face. She needs to be in every true crime case.
What was it that was like, I know that guy?
His tattoos and his ugly face.
That's what
His
gave it
hair.
away.
Yeah, his hair.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
He knows.
was he alone? Was he with anybody?
He was by himself.
Was he acting weird? Anything give you a vibe that's like, this guy's up to something?
No.
Did you call the police, let them know he was here?
Yes, I did.
And what did they do?
They came right over here and wanted to look at the cameras. They responded within probably 10 to 15 minutes of me calling.
Any luck on the cameras?
I don't know. I have no idea. I wasn't here. It was my day off that day.
Did you feel a need to say something, to do something, knowing that there's a little girl at stake?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. My daughter knows the mama. So, and we've known the little girl when she was smaller. Haven't seen her here lately, but yeah.
Anything else you had in there? Anything else that stuck out to you?
He's just evil, I guess. We just need her back. One way or another, we need her.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yes.
She didn't forget his ugly face. Oh, Britt. Hang on, everybody. I wondered where Britt's been. She said, "Sir, I've been absent." She said her daddy almost died on Monday. He was put in ICU. They had to breathe for him with the machine, had a simple procedure to remove his cancer, and ended up in ICU for lungs failing. Oh, my God, Britt. Let's send some get well vibes to Britt's daddy, okay? And her, because she's going through a lot. That's horrible. I'm so sorry, Britt. We love you, Britt. All right. Again, more history on Don Stephen McDougal. Okay. We already heard from Gas Station Leslie, who just said, I saw him on Facebook. I saw the mugshot. And I was like, oh, I remember his ugly face and those tattoos and all that stuff. She's like, oh, yeah, I remember him. Okay. As we said, Kat over in England looked him up. She said about 39 seconds and all the crap popped up. All of it. But the people that should have been protecting Audrey act clueless. We were doing the Christian thing. Coming up on my old age, I can tell you right now, I have learned the hard way. No good deed goes unpunished. Forget it. So it took all of us not too long at all to figure out he's no good, but they will not have any accountability in Audrey's murder. They just won't. And I'm not saying they're murderers. Got to get a new law. Got to get a new law because we were too stupid to move this dude in. I'm not talking about somebody that she went to visit someone's house and a weirdo was there. He was living there. More on his history, though.
Court documents reveal new details about evidence investigators say they have against capital murder suspect Don Stephen McDougal in Audrey's death. Among the evidence, cell phone data and video footage were key. They used it to connect McDougal to 3 locations he traveled to. It's at 2 of these locations they found evidence. The documents also reveal Audrey died the same day she was reported missing. Right now, we're awaiting word from investigators on.
And it was shortly after little Audrey, we were hit with the Madeline Soto case. And I'm like, not again. This better not be somebody that somebody in the family knows. And yeah, it was. Brandon E., hello, good morning. He said, I'm disappointed that the DA allowed him to escape the DP. Life in prison is too easy. My thoughts exactly. I think the reason they didn't mess with it is because Audrey's mom kept going on these different shows saying that she doesn't believe in the death penalty. And, you know, she would have a say. She told Nancy Grace, she told me.
Her exact cause of death.
Stephen Goen continuing our team coverage tonight. Stephen, evidence recovered from the Trinity River where Audrey's body was found shows how her body stayed hidden.
Exactly right, Len. Don Stephen McDougal is facing a capital murder charge for Audrey Cunningham's death. And in this new criminal complaint, we are learning more about the evidence you mentioned that is connecting him to this case. In a criminal complaint, investigators say they looked at video and cell phone records that placed McDougal at 3 different areas of interest, one of which was the Trinity River near State Highway 59. Audrey's body was found there on Tuesday. Investigators say there was a large rock tied to her body with rope. It was consistent with some rope that was seen in McDougal's vehicle at a traffic stop 2 days before his arrest. Now, a closer look at McDougal's past shows he had a lengthy criminal history. In 2010 and 2019, he was convicted for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The victim from that first assault says McDougal was a former coworker who came over one night with friends.
They were drinking, and he just got more belligerent as the night went on, and we ended up.
Everybody knew except for Grandpa, Grams, and the dad, and Cassie. And it's not like Cassie didn't have a lot of communication with him. No one thought to go click, 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 enter.
Throwing him out of the house, and he come back with a knife. I opened the door up and told him he needed to leave, and he come at me with the knife, and I had my shotgun, and I hit him in the face with it and shut the door on him.
Now, McDougal is being held without bond here at the Polk County Jail. He's been in custody since last Friday. He was arrested then on a separate charge for another assault. At the Polk County Jail, Stephen Goen, KHOU 11 News.
Yes. There are lots of ifs here, Brandon, and I agree. If they had never let him out in 2019, Audrey would still be alive, for sure. So yes, laws need to change when it comes to protecting our children. Here's another if for you. If someone in that house had done their due diligence, Audrey would still be alive.
Stephen, thank you. We're also learning more about the unrelated charge that got the suspect arrested after Audrey's disappearance.
McDougal was picked up Friday on an aggravated assault charge. Records show McDougal allegedly stabbed a man in the back last August. We spoke with the attorney of the victim, who tells us his client reported the assault to the Polk County Sheriff's Office. And days later, McDougal was identified but never charged in that case until last Friday.
They could have gotten Stephen McDougal off the streets and probably prevented what we're going through now. And so that's his mindset. He's absolutely emotionally devastated, feels extremely, really, really bad for the family, and just doesn't really want to take the attention away from Audrey Cunningham.
The attorney wants to know why nothing was done before Audrey went missing. At this time, he wants to be respectful of the family. He says he'll later focus on McDougal and the Polk County Sheriff's Office.
We are updating our coverage of this case online. You can watch it all stream.
Bad dude. Bad dude. I agree with Brandon, though. Brandon E. Got to change the laws. Shouldn't have let him out. Should have taken it serious when the guy said I got literally stabbed in the back. Like literally. All right, this came out last week. It's called Finding Audrey. And when I see this wonderful, wonderful man on the screen who has spent so much time, money, resources helping find people, he said, Audrey didn't make this choice.
I don't think any of us can really wrap our head around what really happened to her and how it happened and how a person could do this.
Predator. I mean, he was a predator.
Audrey didn't make this choice. She didn't choose to come down here and jump in this damn water.
Statement of the day. Audrey didn't make this choice. She didn't choose to come down here and jump in this damn water, he said.
She was my first little girl.
Okay, there's her dad.
She didn't choose to come down here and jump in this damn water.
She was my first little.
And remember, he was really good friends with Don Stephen McDougal. Yeah, change the laws. Make them as strict as you can when it comes to children. Don't be messing with my freedom. But when it comes to children, absolutely. But what the hell was going on here?
Little girl.
This loophole failed her. It failed Audrey.
We want to make sure that if we help just one other child avoid this kind of a sexual predator, we will have honored her name.
I'm optimistic that she is going to be found. Right now, I don't believe it's going to be one of them happy endings.
What in that moment made you think that?
I think I was optimistic when the clothes were found. Then I was more optimistic. But then when we did,
Poor guy. And Tim Miller has seen a lot over the years. He's got his own health issues going on. He said he was optimistic. And the minute I heard that he was on it, I was like, okay, we're going to be getting somewhere. We're going to be getting somewhere.
all that search, and then I kind of thought, you know what, we've lost her. She's gone. We lost her.
Have you been back here since Audrey was found?
I came back here one time and looked at it. I spent a lot of time here and a lot of time, and oh my God, and I think when we was doing all that stuff way down the river and everything, at the end of the day, it was like, oh my God, is this one of them that's never going to be found?
Couldn't imagine. Kat said, I mean, what they're saying is if we had a rodeo again, we might actually look harder. So Audrey paid the price for their willful ignorance all the way around. Yeah, the dude should have still been in jail. Either way, he should have been living with them.
It's never going to be found. And then I just remember, and I said, I'm going to start at point A again. I'm going to start there again.
What do you remember most about the effort trying to find Audrey being in this area?
Well, we didn't start out in this area, but then we knew that he came over here, and so then our people started searching here, and then they found a tent down there by the water that was tied up, and then there was some of Audrey's clothes. And then with it being this isolated and everything out here, it was like, oh my God, he threw her in the water. He threw her in the water.
Well, Audrey was our little angel. As you can see in the picture, she's a beautiful young lady. She was full of life.
Happy birthday! That child had a sense of humor. Her birthday party, her last one, she just decided to break out in some random goofy dance just because that was her. You know, hey, you know what? I need to make someone laugh.
She was such a happy child.
She was my buddy. We loved dealing with all the animals. We're both avid animal lovers.
What are you walking?
She would help with anything. She just wanted to help.
Damn sad. You know, I just don't get it. This isn't some dude that was doing handiwork for him. This isn't just some random buddies of Audrey's dad. This is a guy that lived there while the dad and the grandpa were offshore on a boat for work.
You're walking Herbie?
Herbie, come. Walk.
Don't get tangled.
What was it about Audrey's case that made it different than everybody else's?
You know, when there's a child missing, and in circumstances like this, and things that we kind of heard and knew about this suspect and everything, it's almost like there was a new shot of energy and determination with everybody. Because, you know, many of the cases that we do, people kind of put their self in a situation. They made their own choices, and unfortunately the choice they made, it ended up in their death. Audrey didn't make this choice. She didn't choose to come down here and jump in this damn water. She didn't choose the things that happened to her.
You're exactly right, Brandon E. He took her to the bus stop almost every morning. Yes, he did. He was trying to set up a meeting between Audrey and Cassie. I won't tell anybody. She'll come with me. I'm her favorite person. I still believe the whole wanting to meet up with Cassie was to frame her for Audrey's death. He had a plan. Something happened. She was going to tell, or she was telling him no. But I still think he was trying to frame Cassie.
And so I think that since she didn't have a voice for all this, and we all became the parents and the voice, and we chose not to quit. Somebody else chose to do something, we chose not to quit.
She was my first little girl, you know, my first child. And I had her when I just turned 18, so my entire adult life has been being a father. And I'm glad that I was given that opportunity.
Do it. Yeehaw. Yeehaw.
More than 48 hours have passed, and 11-year-old Audrey Cunningham is still missing.
We're actively following leads, and so that's exactly what we're doing here now. We've got boats that are in the water. We've also got dogs that are down there as well. Our hope is that with all the equipment that we're bringing in here, that we can bring her home safely.
You know, early on when I first got here, I said, I can guarantee one thing. Audrey is in a place that she did not choose to be. Somebody else made a choice.
Detectives in Polk County say they now have a person of interest. 42-year-old Don Stephen McDougal.
He was supposed to be taken into the dropping off at the bus stop, and we do feel at this point that he was the last person who seen Audrey.
Almost makes you wonder if Stephen Stearns didn't watch this. We have another took her to school and she didn't make it story. And very close together, if you know what I mean. Because we had Audrey and then right after Madeline. Another child, another person that's not supposed to be around the child at all. And didn't make it to school. A little too close for my comfort.
I was actually at my office and I was kind of following the case a little bit and everything, and then we got the call and they just wanted foot searches and stuff, and I brought my boat.
What told you inside? I gotta search right here. What was calling you here?
A Texas Ranger actually brought the suspect down here one time after these clothes were found, and it was parked over by the boat ramp, and that.
I mean, considering he was removing her clothing, I think we understand what was going on out there. We got the whole story now. So why no charges for essay or even attempt? I don't know. Maybe Brandon can fill us in more on that because he's local.
The ranger said, "Did you put her in this water?" And he said, "Well, she might be there."
He said that?
Yeah. He said, "Well, she might be there." He's kind of halfway playing games and stuff. At that moment, when the clothes were found, we knew something had happened to her, of course. But we was wondering if he just brought her out here and raped her and threw her clothes, but how the clothes were tied up in that tent and stuff, it was like, you know, what in the hell is this all about? Last thing I thought was that she was going to be tied off and weighted down. I never ever expected that. So we had several boats and even a helicopter and stuff. And God, we did so much this river for miles and miles and miles. And then I decided.
Miles and miles and miles. Look at that, you all. It is raining in here. Thank you so much, Angel P.
I'm going to concentrate right here. Because without her floating and being found, it's like, let's start from point A. And point A was right here. And again, there was a lot of luck. There was a lot of luck.
This is a location of interest. We are bringing in divers as well. Again, this is all an effort to uncover additional leads.
And when I got that one image, it's like, oh my God, that's her. That is her. And I showed that to some of the divers, that image, and they said, no, I got with the Texas Rangers. I showed them. I said, listen, I'm positive I do enough this sonar. I'm positive that is our little girl right there. And then again, that Monday they dove on it and couldn't get to it.
Wow, this is amazing, the technology they have and what they can do. But I will say, just seeing that vision of the water, saying that's our girl right there. Wow.
So then they made a choice of closing the dam, and the best choice they ever made. So the water went down, and then that Tuesday they went and dove, and they located her. And I was in the hospital, and when I got the call that they found her, and it was like, yes.
Where was she at?
She was just on the other side of this metal, like on all this steel down there.
Have you ever taken anybody here to show where she was found?
No, this is a first. Yeah, this is a first. It's unbelievable coming back here and looking at this again and really now digesting the whole search effort.
This time, I sadly announced that Audrey's body was located at the Trinity River on the U.S. Highway 59.
By the way, I love the sheriff. He wasn't playing around, and he's a sharp dressed dude.
As a result of today's developments, I will discontinue the Amber Alert for Audrey.
OJ, calm down.
He had been in prison, and we knew all about that. And we checked the registry. There was nothing there. So we agreed to help him.
Right there. He'd been in prison, so we knew about that. We checked the registry, but he wasn't on there. Okay, what part of he'd been in prison? How many times? And they think that he got some sort of Don Wells religion in the pokey. So as a Christian, they're like, come on over.
And then, 2 years later, this tragedy happens. And we don't understand it because Audrey offered him nothing but kindness.
It's probably the most difficult thing to comprehend.
Yes.
She didn't.
It's almost like they're alluding to it could possibly be her fault. Audrey offered him nothing but kindness. Well, what if she was a brat to him? Really? What if she kicked him in the shins every time she saw him? What in the world?
I don't care what you look like. You could have tattoos. You could be you and I could be scared half to death of somebody. And she'd walk up and say, "Hi, I'm Audrey. How are you?" She was non-judgmental.
She's a child.
To fearing a certain look. And that's the thing, is everybody looks at the exterior of somebody and makes that judgment. And I'm guilty too. She didn't, but she didn't.
Hello. I'm trying to slide.
Because she's a child. And if grandma, grandpa, and dad are okay with the dude, she's not going to think anything of it. And then to sit there, almost like a double negative, and say, and I'm guilty of that too, but not guilty enough to keep him away from your granddaughter. So you knew about prison. You could have found that he took a plea deal. so that he wouldn't be on the registry. And that is way too common in too many states, and I'm sick of it.
I don't know how to describe it. Sometimes it's, I still have my son, so I have to be strong and I have to keep going and act like nothing's even happening. And at the same time, the whole world is completely different. Some days it feels like everything's moving way too fast, and other days everything's just too slow, but nothing's ever right.
She was just full of spirit. And that's probably the biggest tragedy, is that her light she had around her is gone.
It's simple. He's a child killer. He is a coward. That's why he can only look at his feet. He can't look at himself. He can't look at anybody else. He's a coward. He knows he's a coward.
Hold on there, Daddy-O. Brandon, so this is what we talked about. They forgave this POS, and I asked, why? Why? Well, I mean, he's a coward. He's a child killer, and he's a coward. He was your buddy, dude. Look at y'all. Living your teenage dream.
On a person like that.
Lisa's getting kinky over here. She said something else more than friendship, in my opinion. Ooh, Lisa. I think we're going to go ahead and give old Lisa the comment of the day. Ooh, Lisa.
I don't think there's any words that could be said to a person like that would even register in their head. So, the best thing is just walk away and keep your damn mouth shut. Because you can't say, man, why'd you do this? And everybody, including me, we got all the questions and we want to answer. But you know what? There's not one answer we could ever get that's going to be satisfied. They tell 100.
I can't tell you how many good daddies have said the same thing. Zach Walker is one. We haven't seen him in a while. He comes around every now and then. He said the same thing. If it was my daughter, I'd be on trial because he would be gone. Yep. If this was my husband, he'd go get a damn DUI to be in the same cell.
100% the truth, it still doesn't make any sense.
That was chapter 1. Chapter 2 just closed recently when, and I'm not going to use his name, the perpetrator, he pled guilty and agreed to life in prison without the possibility of parole or appeal. So he's taken responsibility for it.
Okay, I'm going to go slam my head in the door and I'll be right back. This is crazy. So he's accepted responsibility. Oh my word. So he's accepted responsibility. So no possibility of parole, no positive appeal. So he's accepted responsibility. Oh, well, am I supposed to send some cookies to the jail?
It still doesn't make any sense.
That was chapter 1. Chapter 2 just closed recently when, and I'm not going to use his name, the perpetrator, he pled guilty and agreed to life in prison without the possibility of parole or appeal. So he's taken responsibility for it.
Yep. Lisa's getting heated. Lisa's getting heated. Lisa said, do what? Accepted responsibility? It's exactly what Grandpa said. When are they going to accept responsibility? When are they? They're sitting there like they're the ultimate victims. And saving Tattoo Man from the needle is not accepting responsibility.
But the hurt doesn't go away. It's going to take us a while to forgive him.
It is about making sure that this doesn't happen again.
We've started a nonprofit called Justice for Audrey. And we want to make sure that if we help just one other child avoid this kind of a sexual predator, we will have honored her name. And so we're blessed to meet Andy Kahn of Crime Stoppers, and he said he would love to help us bring to the Texas legislature Audrey's Law, which is designed to help close the loophole that we missed.
Okay, here's my question, the title of the show. I want you all to answer, please. There's only 117 of you in here, so trust me, I'll be able to see it. Would Audrey's Law have helped Audrey? Or does Grandpa, Grandma, and Dad bear any responsibility? Would this law have saved Audrey?
It's a loophole that doesn't require sexual offenders who plea bargain down to a lesser charge to have to register in the sex offender program.
That's why Knight's Law, which Justin Webster, who I'm proud to call a friend, we have a whole playlist about his daughter. Those were the murders in Henrietta, Oklahoma. Knight's Law is very important. We got it passed in Oklahoma. It needs to be a nationwide thing. But I'm going back to my original question. Would Audrey's Law have helped Audrey? Would Knight's Law have helped Audrey? Okay, so Audrey's Law is you're going on the registry regardless, no plea, which I agree with. Knight's Law is like, don't let them out at all. I agree with both. But with these people who ignored every red flag, who didn't seem to bother to really dig into his past, if you know what I mean, would this law have helped? Shayla is rocking my socks, and I don't wear socks. Said they are saying they couldn't tell he was a chome without the sex registry. Please, stupidity is no excuse here. Neither is Christianity. Trying to do the right thing. Any of that we have heard. he shouldn't have been around.
Basically, the gist of the bill is anyone that's convicted of an offense in which there's a sexual element like a child grooming, which is what State Representative Ashby has filed, will be now required to register as a sex offender. But the important thing is, what can we do?
Okay, let's say that he was on the registry. He already gave them a big line of BS to excuse all his crimes that he went to not just jail, but prison for. So let's just say he was on the registry. Do you think what we know about Don Stephen McDougal, he could have convinced Grandpa, Grams, and Dad that it was no big deal? Misunderstanding. You know how they talk.
To prevent this from happening in the future and keep more Audrey Cunninghams from happening. And passing this law, Audrey's law, will do that.
It should have been common sense that this shouldn't, you know, even if it's enticing a child or grooming a child, you are a sexual predator and you should be on that list.
You know, this loophole failed her, it failed Audrey. God knows how many other kids it's failing or has failed, you know.
The goal is for Audrey's law not just to be here in Texas. You want to take it across the country?
Once we have it passed in Texas, we want to take a look at other states to see if there is a deficiency.
Love you, Amanda. Member for 35 months. Okay. One of his crimes, because we talked about it on the show, under the mugshots that you can see on Google, was enticing a child. So did you need a list for that charge? Did you really need a separate list without all the glamour shots that you got from the mugshots? You know that was one of his charges, not to mention all the violence he's capable of. So you really needed something in black and white on yet another place on the internet? I don't get it. But yeah, have the law. Absolutely close all those loopholes. But would this have saved Audrey?
There, I don't know how the sex offender registry works across the country yet. If there's any other states that have loopholes, we would be willing to work through Crime Stoppers to get laws passed in those states.
As a parent, you can't be more proud of what your child does and what they achieve in life. I can only imagine, albeit, you know, only 11 years old, the impact that she's going to have on lives across Texas and eventually, hopefully, across the country. I could only imagine that you're incredibly proud.
I've always been incredibly proud of my daughter.
My biggest thing is so many people came together. So many people showed love for a child that some of them knew, some of them didn't.
And in Audrey's name, if we can help save one child, it's worth it.
Easily. With one law change, one simple rule change.
Okay, so enticing a child, I'm assuming, is grooming. Okay, so yeah, regardless of your plea, it should be on there. But they already knew he had gone to jail for that. Hey, saves one child? Great. Put it on the books.
Her story went around the world. people from around the world were invested in Audrey and wanting her so badly to come home safe.
It's a feeling you can't match. There's no words, It shows that God's still out there, and a lot of people. It shows that people still care. It shows that every bit of what Audrey stood for is still in this world.
Also, we were looking at the community. It's about healing for our community.
Her legacy began the day that this community pulled together.
Well, I remember exactly like yesterday. Exactly like yesterday. Exactly. No, this is one of them that when I drive over this bridge and go to another searcher, I'm going somewhere. I mean, it hits me, and I kind of get a little tear in my eye, and I get a little smile on my face. A year later, if I'm still alive 10 years from now, it'll still be the same. It'll still be the same. Yep. It'll still be the same.
What's it like standing here looking out at this river now? I mean, it's so calm, it's so peaceful.
You know, there's a little bit of comfort still. I mean, there's a hell of a lot of sadness knowing what she went through and being put here. But again, there's some comfort knowing at least she was found. And she never would have been. She never would have been to this day. So there would have always been questions and, did they have enough on the suspect at that time? And so, it all played out, I guess, exactly how God wanted it to play out. We was just that small little part.
And it breaks my heart for Tim Miller because I know that this had to have been a very, very tough case for him. Here's a few pictures of Audrey that her mother shared with us, which I think are just adorable.
Say, I seen the snow and it is so cool. I seen the snow and it was so cool. What color is it? White. Yeah. Hey. What are you doing? I'm trying to break the line. I don't think you're going to be able to break it.
Lane, have you wrapped to her yet?
It's hard, huh? Yeah.
You
Hey, I love you.
Christ military dog?
Doing a thing that's called, what's this? Ta-da. Ta-da. Okay. All right, do it. Beautiful. That's so beautiful. And turn around. And turn back around. And say ta-da. Ta-da. And do it. Beautiful.
Absolutely sickening. Sometimes you can, my friends, judge a book by its cover. All right? Not saying being prejudiced, any of the phobic words, but sometimes between arrest records, mugshots, enticing a child, violence, and just the overall appearance. Yes, you can. Well, this has been a shorter show than usual, but we got it all out there. But I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you for sharing your milestones with me. Look at that. Preschool Granny, 3 amazing years. Missing with Manda, 35 months. I'm telling you what, Angel P, gifting out those memberships. Great mod squad we have here. Want to say welcome to Brandon. He had a lot of stuff to say in chat. He's local to the case. I love when locals come in to share what they know about cases. You guys are absolutely amazing. Sorry we missed Sophia, but we will catch her when she comes in to tell her happy birthday. You guys enjoy your weekend. You're the absolute best friends a girl can ask for on these nasty, nasty YouTube streets.